Portal is a series known for many things, whether it be difficult test chambers or the portal gun. However, one thing it is greatly known for is the fact that there hasn't been an official Portal release since 2017. And naturally, the player base has resorted to mainly mods to continue the series, with there being tons of official mods for both Portal 1 and 2 on Steam. And in this video, I'll be going through and ranking all these mods in a tier list. Also, quick disclaimer, these listings are mainly going to be my opinion, but feel free to let me know what you think in the comments. Portal with RTX is exactly what it sounds like. It's the original Portal game but with full ray tracing, which sounds pretty good, except when you boot up the game for the first time, you're most likely gonna start experiencing problems right off the bat. For one, because this was developed in hand with Nvidia, you need an Nvidia graphics card to be able to play this. But no, not just any card, you need an RTX 30 series or higher GPU to play this. That means if you have an older card, or god forbid an AMD GPU, you cannot play this game. I have an RTX 3060, which is the minimum required GPU, and I was tanking frames when I started playing. In fact, it was so bad that I had to go into the DLSS settings and turn the ray tracing to the lowest level to be able to even play. Other than that though, it's pretty much just Portal 1 but with a new coat of paint. For that reason, I'll give it a B. Portal Prelude was one of the very first mods for Portal, originally releasing on ModDB all the way back in 2008. However, it was recently released on Steam under Portal Prelude with RTX, which is pretty much Portal Prelude but with ray tracing. Other than all the technical problems with the ray tracing, I just didn't find this mod all too good. Like, don't get me wrong, this game has voice acting and even cutscenes, but the test chambers themselves are just so tedious and frustrating to get through. Take this one test chamber where you have to fling yourself onto a platform. I spent probably like 10 minutes trying and failing over and over again trying to get up there. And just as I was about to give up, I suddenly got a hint at the bottom of my screen saying to try turning on a setting that makes you go faster through portals. Like, why is this even a thing? The same thing happened again in the next test chamber and I just sort of gave up. This mod honestly looks really good, but the tests are so annoying to play, I have no intention of finishing Portal Prelude anytime soon. D tier. Rexora is one of the more far-fetched Portal mods, and the only Portal 1 mod on Steam that isn't in RTX. Now I know this mod might have its fans, but I really didn't enjoy this one. For me personally, it's just way too different from Portal for it to be good. Like, it introduces so many new strange mechanics, like a weird gravity thing that holds up a cube, and an energy orb that is meant to absorb the high energy pellet. I could just never really get invested in this one, and I really don't plan on doing so anytime soon. So for that reason, I'll have to give it an F. Thinking with Time Machine. Oh boy, where do I begin? So this was the first ever Portal 2 mod released on Steam, coming out back in 2014. And to say this mod is unique would be an understatement. You start off at the end of Portal 2, coming out of the elevator, and suddenly, it turns out it was all a simulation and you never left Aperture. And then you get this weird portal gun with a time machine built in that allows you to clone yourself to help you complete test chambers. Yeah, this honestly confused me so bad I could never grasp the concept on how this mechanic even works. Like, there are screens in the test chamber that are meant to help you, but they just ended up confusing me even more. I don't even want to finish this mod, and I'm going to have to put it in F tier, below Rexora. Okay, finally we're getting to the good stuff. Aperture Tag has to be one of the most creative and genius ideas that has come out of a Portal mod in a long time. It pretty much has one premise. Instead of having a portal gun, you have a paint gun that shoots the blue and orange gel from Portal 2. Because of this, the game can be insanely fun to play, being able to run and bounce around the test chambers. However, before you think I'm going to give this mod nothing but positive feedback, there are two massive downfalls for this game. First off, Aperture Tag's story and ending are quite lackluster in my opinion, and the level designs can be weird as they try to mimic real-world settings. The only other character being Nigel that accompanies you through the tests is a pretty bare-bones character as well, which kinda sucks. However, the biggest con of this mod has to be the fact that you have to pay for it, on top of already owning Portal 2. That really sucks. especially when you consider the fact that every other mod for both Portal 1 and 2 are completely free as long as you own the base games, and so actually having to buy Aperture Tag is pretty shit. However, one more thing I also forgot to mention is that Aperture Tag also has full integration with the Steam Workshop, meaning regardless of story, the replayability factor is definitely there. So with that in mind, this is probably going to be the most biased ranking in this video, but I'm going to have to put Aperture Tag in S tier. Yes, it has that price tag, but for what you're getting, I'd definitely say it's worth it, and if it wasn't for the Steam Workshop, I would definitely be putting this lower. Portal Stories Mel is a must play for any fan of Portal, and in my opinion, it is the closest thing we have to a Portal 3. While it doesn't exactly introduce anything new like the paint gun or the time machine, Mel's main strength in my opinion is storytelling. In this mod, you play as Mel, a cult character who was originally meant to be the main protagonist of Portal 2, who in this game ended up sleeping for way too long in one of Aperture's early sleep experiments. If you're a big fan of the lore of Portal, then this mod is definitely for you. It features great voice acting, characters, and cutscenes which all work really well. If I had to nitpick something I didn't like about this mod, it would probably be the fact that some of the test chambers can be really difficult at times. But even then, most of the chambers are still really well designed. Overall, this is an excellently made mod. And even the ending was done well, which is something rarely seen. S tier, above Aperture Tag. Portal Reloaded is a mod that introduces a new mechanic into the game. It adds a third time portal that takes the player 20 years into the future. It's essentially being thinking with Time Machine, but better. This new third portal allows for some pretty interesting gameplay mechanics, and if you're someone who really knows how time itself works and how something can affect the future, this mod is probably for you. However, for me personally, I never really grasped the concept of the time portal, and how, for instance, a cube 20 years in the past can affect a cube 20 years in the future. Another big disappointment with this mod was the fact that it has no workshop integration, which means that the replayability is quite limited. However, this is somewhat made up by the fact that Portal Reloaded features a full co-op mode, which is something not seen in many other mods. For those reasons though, I'm going to have to give this mod a B tier above Portal with RTX. I really want to like this mod, as I can tell it's made very well, but my dumbass could not understand how the time portal works. Well, to say this mod is bad would be an understatement. Portal the Forbidden Testing Tracks is a mod with pretty much no premise or story. You just sort of wake up and do stuff. That's pretty much the best description I could give for this mod, because after playing this for 10 minutes, I still have no idea what the fuck I just went through. There are just so many strange things in this, like the fact that you start out in the Portal 2 style of the game, and randomly go to the Portal 1 style of the game. Or the fact that there are literal AI voice generations of GLaDOS and Cave Johnson.
If you're hearing this, congratulations on being selected for the most important job in the world.
Look, I'll give it some credit since this mod was made by one guy, but compared to the other mods on this list, this should probably stay forbidden for a long time. F tier, below Thinking with Time Machine. Portal Revolution is the latest Portal 2 mod having been released this year. As far as the mod goes, I enjoyed it. While it doesn't have too many mechanics, it still has likable characters, well-designed test chambers, and a good story. The visuals of this mod are also really good, and I don't normally talk about visuals, but the chapter where you go to the surface of Aperture is really well done, with the overgrowths looking really good. The only thing I disliked about Portal Revolution is I thought the ending was quite weak and lackluster, but even then, the overall story makes up for it. With all that in mind, I'll put Portal Revolution at A tier. I think it's a good mod that is worth trying, and although it isn't exactly groundbreaking, it still does the overall game really well. Okay, so it's been a few days and I've given a lot of the mods a second try, and now it's time we go back and change the rankings. And starting off with Portal with RTX, I've decided to move this down to C tier, as going back to it, it is simply just a laggy experience that doesn't offer too much over the regular Portal 1. And while I do think that Portal 1 in general is an S tier, we're ranking these by the mods themselves and not the game they are based off. Next is Portal Prelude. Playing this again, It is just a laggy experience with tons of bugs and annoying test chambers. I once again couldn't finish this game, so I'm going to have to bring it down to F tier. If I was ranking the normal Portal Prelude, I would not have put it this low, but the addition of RTX just makes it significantly worse in my opinion. Playing Rexora once more, I don't think it's as bad as I thought. I still think it's way too different from Portal, but for the effort put into the mod, I think this deserves a D tier. Just like Rexora, thinking with Time Machine might not have been so bad. The Time Machine is still a strange mechanic, but the addition of the workshop and level designer could allow for more gameplay. D tier. Well, there we have it people, the final ranking of every single Portal mod on Steam. If you enjoyed this video, consider subscribing as it helps me out, and if you disagreed with any of my rankings, be sure to let me know in the comments below. With that though, I'll see you guys in the next video. Thanks for watching.